think of all those meetings, 2 years, about 102 meetings. I don't think we ever made a single decision as a basis of that. I really don't. I think it's just filling air.
Should be good to go, Jeff.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Newington Conservation Commission meeting for March 19th, 2024. Calling the meeting to order. Would the recording secretary please take the roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Ancona? Commissioner
If I may,
Yeah,
Ms. Gibbon, Commissioner Ancona was replaced by Joanne McCormick.
okay,
You want to make that note?
I will do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Commissioner Conway?
Here.
Commissioner Paskowitz?
Here.
Commissioner Sadil?
Here.
Commissioner Wagner? Commissioner Wimett?
Here.
Chairman Zellick?
Here.
Eric is the new commissioner in,
Yes, it's Joanne McCormick.
okay, Commissioner McCormick.
Here.
Okay. Thank you. I'd like to welcome our new full member, Commissioner Joanne McCormick. Looking forward to working with you.
Yeah.
I also.
Very good. Next item on our agenda is the acceptance of minutes. This is approval of minutes from the meeting of February 20th, 2024, which were sent to us online. They were not included in our packet.
Well, the wrong month was included in the packet, January. So when I was told by another commissioner, we sent those out. So if you guys aren't comfortable voting on them tonight, you can table it till the next meeting.
Okay.
Your decision.
I'll just do a quick roll call. Anyone not read the minutes? Okay, hearing none, I'll assume everyone has read the minutes online. Motion to, or any corrections, edits to the minutes from the commissioners?
None here.
I make a motion to accept the minutes. This is Commissioner Conway.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Second from Commissioner Wimett. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any abstentions? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to next item is public participation on non-agenda items. Any member of the public wishing to speak within the room can come forward. Doesn't look like we have anybody in the room. Eric, do we have anyone online?
There's no one online, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. We'll move on to the next item, which is new business. We have application 2024-03 for the demolition of an existing garage and construction of a 24-foot by 40-foot detached garage within the Upland Review area at 54 Northwood Road. If the applicant owner contact is present, would they please come forward with their presentation?
He does not appear to be present. They are not online. I was told they were going to attend. What you may want to do is just reorder the agenda, or you can just table it until the next meeting.
All right. Can I get a motion to move item 5, new business, to be item 7, which would be after old business, item number 6.
So moved. Let's do that.
I got a motion from Commissioner Wimett and a second from Commissioner McCormick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Anyone opposed? And motion passes unanimously. We will address that application after old business. Moving on to old business. Application 2024-01, modify wetland permit 2021-18 for the construction of a 14-foot by 22-foot building within the Upland Review area at 72 Wells Drive North. Applicant owner, contact Jason Darren. If Mr. Darren is present, would you please come forward? I don't believe there was any additional information that the commission requested from Mr. Darren.
No, there was not. I've been working with Mr. Darren, with giving us some ideas for potential plantings on the slope there, as discussed. He's amenable to doing that. He's just trying to decide on what's gonna be, good for him as far as height and size and everything, and what's available in the, potentially the spring or fall or whenever to do the plantings.
Okay, very good. Do the commissioners have any follow-up questions for the applicant?
None
Okay,
here.
Hearing none. Eric, did we get any interest from the public for public hearing, any petitions?
No, I've had no comments or questions about this application from the
Very,
public.
very good then. Commissioner Conway, do you have the latest motion that was provided through email late this afternoon?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can I get a motion then that no public hearing is required for this application?
I'd like to make a motion that no public hearing is necessary.
I was gonna have Commissioner Conway read it. She's our secretary. Yeah.
So, okay. So application 2024-01 to modify wetland permit 2021-18 for the construction of 400.
Yeah, that 4 is incorrect. It should be 14 by 22. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. 14 by 22 building addition within the URA at 72 Wells Drive North. Applicant owner contact Jason Duran. The motion, this activity will have no significant impact to the regulated area and will not require a public hearing.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Get a second from Commissioner Wilmette. Any further discussion before we go to vote? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion that a public hearing is not required passes unanimously. Moving on, the next motion would be for the approval of the permit. Commissioner Conway, if you could please read the motion.
Application 2024-01 to modify wetland permit 2021-18 for the construction of 14 by 22 foot building addition within the URA at 72 Wells Drive North. Applicant owner contact Jason Duran. Motion to approve with conditions. Number 1, all excess material will be removed from the site. Number 2, all disturbed areas will be restored and reseeded. Number 3, the applicant will provide 6 additional slope plantings in the URA. Those plantings will be reviewed and approved by the wetland agent. And number 4, all other conditions of the original wetland permit 2018-21 approved on August 17th, 2021 shall remain in full force and effect.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Commissioner Pascal.
Second from Commissioner Paskowitz. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Good luck.
Thank
with
you,
the project. Okay, moving on. Next item is application 2024-02, the construction of a 48 by 60 foot industrial building and drainage infrastructure within the upland review area at 161 Carr Avenue. Applicant owner contact James Campbell. And I guess Mr. Bongiovanni was presenting.
Mr. Bongiovanni is online this evening.
Very good. Welcome, Mr. Bongiovanni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Were there any follow-up questions for the applicant on this?
There were no follow-up questions I recall. He has revised the plans with the 3 or 4 minor comments that we had from the engineer and from staff to address those, moving the stockpile outside the URA. That was the major one.
Okay.
So he's agreed to do that.
Very good. Did the commissioners have any follow-up questions for the applicant?
None here.
Very good. Eric, was there any interest from the public regarding a public hearing?
Not in this application, no.
Very good. In that case, Commissioner Conway, can I get a motion that no public hearing is required for application 2024-02?
Application 2024-02 for the construction of 48-foot by 60-foot building and drainage infrastructure within the URA at 161 Carr Avenue. Applicant, owner, contact James Campbell. The motion is for no public hearing. This activity will have no significant impact to the regulated area and will not require a public hearing.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Wilmette. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. No public hearing is required for this application. Next item will be the approval of the permit for this application, 2024-02. Commissioner Conway, can I get a motion for that application?
Yes, application 2024-02 for the construction of 48-foot by 60-foot building and drainage infrastructure within the URA at 161 Carr Avenue. Applicant, owner, contact James Campbell. The motion is to approve with conditions. Condition number 1, permits are not transferable without the prior written consent of the agency. Condition number 2, failure to comply with any condition required by this permit shall automatically revoke this permit and subject the applicant, heirs, successors, and assigns to the enforcement authority of the commission. Condition number 3, all conditions listed on this permit must be printed on the approved plans within 6 months of the report issued by the commission. This annotated plan must be presented to the commission for signature by the chairman within 6 months of the report issued by the commission. Otherwise, this permit is null and void. Condition number 4, applicant will incorporate the official notification of action into original tracings. Number 5, when the actual field conditions differ from those asserted by the approved plans, the town engineer, in consultation with the chairperson, may direct that certain modifications or amendments be made to accomplish the intent of this permit. Condition number 6, no regulated activity within the designated wetlands, watercourses, and/or buffer area shall be performed on the site until all soil and erosion control measures are installed in accordance with the plans approved by the town engineer. Number 7, the agency has relied in whole or in part on information provided by the applicant, and if such information subsequently proves to be false, deceptive, incomplete, or inaccurate, the permit may be modified, suspended, or revoked. Condition number 8, all permits issued by the agency are subject to and do not derogate any present or future rights or powers of the agency or the town of Newington, and convey no rights in real estate or material, nor any exclusive privileges, and are further subject to any and all public and private rights, and to any federal, state, and municipal laws or regulations pertinent to the subject land or activity. Condition number 9, in conducting the authorized activities, the permittee shall implement such management practices consistent with the terms and conditions of the permit as needed to control stormwater discharges and to prevent erosion and sedimentation, and to otherwise prevent pollution of wetlands and watercourses. Number 10, this permit is valid for wetlands only. Additional approvals and/or permits may be required from other town departments, state or federal agencies. It is the responsibility of the applicant to verify what other approvals and/or permits may be required for this project.
If I may,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, number 11 really does not apply to this. This was from another. That was from the MDC permit. I apologize.
That's okay. I'll move on to the next one. All excess material will be removed from the site. And lastly, all disturbed areas will be restored and reseeded as shown on the approved plan.
Commissioner Conley. Can I get a second on the motion?
I'll second that.
Second from Commissioner Wilmette. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abstentions? Opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Have a good evening. Right, moving on,
So it appears the applicant is now in the room
is this the applicant for?
for the Northwood, correct?
Very good. Application 2024-03 for the demolition of an existing garage and construction of a 24-foot by 40-foot detached garage within the upland review area at 54 Northwood Road. Applicant owner contact Michael Campbell. If the applicant is present, would they please come forward and give us your presentation, please? Just for the record, if you could state your name and address for the record.
Michael Campbell, 54 Northwood Road.
Thank you. Could you just give us an overview of your application?
Yes. It's a simple garage in the backyard, 5 feet off each line. Nothing crazy about it or special. I was told by the excavator today that might want to add more concrete to the height to heighten it so that there's less disruption of the topography. And then other than that, it's a 3-bay garage in the backyard. We would take down the garage that is there and existing because it's non-conforming. I believe it's over the line. And this would replace the single car garage on the side of the house.
So I just brought up the wetland map just so you can see it. So basically the entire house is within the URA. The garage, as he said over here on the right side, the single car garage will be removed as part of this project, and the detached garage is going back here along the back property line.
All right, so the property itself is all within the upland review?
Correct. The
And
wetlands are off-site.
Where are the wetlands? What property are they on?
They're on the property to the north. It's the rear of the Best Market Plaza, which I think is actually owned. That strip that goes out to Main Street is actually owned by the apartment complex.
Apartment complex on the market is right directly behind it.
All right, so is it the apartment complex or is it the market that owns that property?
Actually, the strip is actually I'm pretty sure is owned by the apartment complex, not the,
Okay.
so have to double check. It's one of the two.
Just for my future reference, is that strip up for development with the new apartment complex or? Is it
No.
out of scope because it's owned by the apartments?
Yeah, I'll bring up the map if you guys just want to hold on a minute and we can all look
Yeah,
at it
just want
together.
a point of reference.
It was not included in the pre-application proposal that they made, that the applicant made for those apartments that.
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Yes, Commissioner Siddell.
Yes, I have a few questions for the applicant. I'm a little confused between the map you were showing and the one that was in the handout that came with the packet. Now, is there going to be separation between the house and the garage? It looks like the garage is attached to the house, and now there's going to be a space in between the house and this new 3-car garage.
Correct. And the garage that is attached is non-compliant and apparently too close to the line, which we will take down.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, the map is up so that strip is included with the plaza.
Okay, so the plaza then does have the wetlands and it's not the apartment complex.
Yeah, the apartment complex has their own wetlands as well in the back over here, but yes.
On that map, where is 54?
54 is right here.
Okay. All right, that helps. Thank you, Eric.
Mr. Chairman, may I continue?
Yes, Commissioner Siddell.
So on that map that we saw, the wetlands, is that dark green, the wetland line? On that map that we just,
That is correct.
okay.
I'll bring it up on this map as well, just so we're clear. So here's his property.
Now,
And
how
the-
close to the wetland line, once you construct your new garage, how close to the wetland are you going to be footage wise and feet?
It would be 5 feet off the property line, and I'm not exactly sure how deep that wetlands comes onto the property. But
We
it
don't,
would
we don't
be,
have it. I think it's coincident with that line.
yeah,
So it'd be approximately 5 feet away from the wetland proper, Commissioner Sedil.
So clarification for me, Eric, that green, the dark shaded green
Mm-hmm.
is wetlands on the property or just?
No, it butts up to the properties of all these back here.
all right,
That's
so-
the way the mapping has been.
So
whether it's-
we're assuming the wetlands demarcation is straight
Is-
across all those
Is
properties?
the property line correct? That's the official town mapping.
Okay, and then why does this map have that shaded green at 54?
No, this is the wetland here,
Right,
and it's coincident with the property line.
I believe it's just a,
And then the red stippling, that's the URA. This is the 100 feet.
well, what does that dark green indicate?
Oh, this little green?
Yeah.
Oh, that's something on the old GIS. I have no idea where it came from. I don't know what it is. I think it's probably just tree lines.
tree line and topographical.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. I got you now.
Yep. All right, commissioners understand my questions regarding the mapping?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's the green with the slash is the wetland. The lighter green, yeah.
All right, commissioners, you want to continue with your questions?
If I may, Mr. Chair, okay, someone else wants to go.
Yeah, Commissioner Siddell?
Yes, thank you. So what is the slope going there to your property into this wetland? What's the drop footage wise from
Approximately,
from the garage down to the wetland line?
height wise, topographically,
Yeah, the depth.
approximately 3 to 4 feet.
So you say in your narrative here, little to no impact, several trees will be removed, I assume. I assume that's in that dark green olive spline area. You're gonna be doing some tree removal?
Most of it is already gone. There is some scrub brush and 1 or 2 invasive type scrub oaks kind of standing, maybe 3 to 6 inches in circumference.
But so you're saying most of the trees have been removed at this time. There's no to clear
That is
that
correct.
area to make room for the garage.
That is correct.
You say some more in water redirection. Most of the construction happens on what is already the back lawn. So can you describe what the drainage on that garage is going to be? Is there any piping, whatnot? Can you describe, more that sheet flow is going to go into from the gutters down into the wetland?
Basically, topographically, it would just go around most of it. There's not a ton of water problem back there. It is a gradual slope, and we would keep in nature with that so that we don't cause any problem for our neighbor. Or what's behind that is very wet as far as drainage, so we don't want to disturb that. So most of it would be, we would try to get most of the height instead of trying to fill, we would do most of it with raising the concrete so that the fill is, I don't want to say negligible, but as little as we can possibly get away with.
But you're saying that the runoff from the gutters is going to go northwards, right? The gutters are going to be
That-
pointing towards the wetland.
Correct, where it goes now. I would not disrupt it to the point of redirecting it. It would just, it would go around the building to that culvert that is there already.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, the contours that I just brought up, you may not be able to see them. It kind of demonstrates that that is the way it currently flows anyway. It's flowing towards that wetland to the north. And And the wetland to the north, as Mr. Campbell noted, was it basically serves as drainage conveyance.
Commissioner Pasquich here, I have some questions.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
How are you gonna access these two bays with vehicles that I see on the print from the side yards, which I believe is only gonna be 5 feet?
Correct?
How are you gonna access the garage?
So that we could do that more or less with a retaining wall and or the concrete foundation being more exposed, but still get the height we need without.
No, wait, stop. The question, maybe I'm not being clear enough. How are you gonna drive down to the garage from the street?
The one bay garage that is attached to the house now will now be missing.
And that width there is gonna be, what's that width going to be?
It would be, well, the garage is 12, almost 13 feet as it is now. So
Okay,
there's a 3 or 4 foot side yard that the garage is over the line on. So we'd still have the 12 foot of the garage.
so is your intent to pave completely down to the garage? And how much area of the land are you gonna cover with pavement? And is the pavement gonna be in the 40 feet distance of the 3 bay garage? Is it gonna be 40 feet across the pavement where you have the garage?
We were thinking more, it's less pavers that would help with the drainage and it would be easier to install.
So those are gonna be permeable pavers?
Your normal pavers, I don't know if there's a big difference in pavers, but whatever is needed. If there's a certain paver needed, instead of paving it.
Yeah, here's my intent of the question is how much area of impermeable surface are you gonna apply to that land, that slope? And then how is the water gonna drain off that impermeable surface to both sides of the garage as you enter with the cars? That's gonna flow right down, or it's gonna flow right down there.
Well, that's why we would make the reason I talked about the height of the foundation of the garage is to get it to the right height so that that flow is as natural as we can make it through pavers and around the garage. Unless unless there's a objection as far as drainage, we can add drainage if it need be. If it's right now, I don't have any engineer telling me different.
Okay, I feel that we need more information on the surface and the runoff that's gonna be applied for the amount of area of pavers you're putting on that land.
Okay.
And also drainage in consideration of the flow of those pavers for both sides and the flow towards the garage.
So I've asked Eric to bring up,
I don't have that one scanned. I apologize.
all right, we were trying to find a slide that would show us the proposed plot plan. I am reviewing the proposed scope of work and I don't see anything in here regarding paving or pavers.
Nope, it was never asked. I'm just, this is something we had planned on, but
Yeah, I think Commissioner has brought up some good points regarding the additional hard surface. I think we will need some information on that.
That's fine. He just sent over some information today from his excavator that I'm having the town engineer review about the fill that he mentioned about the possibly potentially bringing in. So, we can have
if we had to have add curtain drains or whatever, however it's seen fit, that's not a problem.
Yeah, we don't see that in the plan. And can I just ask, if I'm looking at the proposed site plan, are the pavers running all the way from the back of the existing dwelling down to the garage?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, so pretty much that backyard, I'm gonna just, ballpark it.
Yes.
Say 75% will be
Yes.
hard surfaces.
so you will have to update the plan to demonstrate that,
Okay.
to show the pavers, the paved
Pavers.
areas or the bituminous surface, whatever you're gonna choose to, you probably want to look at a couple of options.
Yeah, if we could get that information and have the town engineer review.
Absolutely.
Because maybe propose some low impact, type of retention if there is a lot of runoff.
May I continue, Chairman Zella?
Go ahead, Commissioner Paskowitz.
Looking at the structure, I see a dormer. And that dormer is facing what direction? Towards the wetlands or towards
No,
the?
yeah. North, yes, correct. The wetlands.
Okay. That's gonna be some significant runoff added. And the building is gonna be 18 feet high?
We're asking for 18 feet high, accordingly to the zoning that, they only let us have it at 15 feet high.
Yeah, that's been the current height. Are you gonna add any heat or water system into this building?
No,
No plumbing, no water.
no water. There might be heat, but that would be, basic, hung from the ceiling kind of,
Yeah, familiar.
propane. Yeah.
Sure. You're gonna wash these vehicles in the garage or out of the garage? Or not at all?
Probably not at all. I mean, it would be done elsewhere or a car wash. It might be, one or two times, but it would be mostly done elsewhere.
Okay. Back to the foundation. I can see this is gonna be a fairly tall foundation due to topography. I drove by today. I just took a glimpse from the street. And it's fairly steep going down to that wetland. I mean, I couldn't get a close look, but I couldn't, it's fairly steep. I'm concerned about that slope. I'm concerned about the excavation being done, which is probably, if you get a permit, will be done in the spring. And we've got, of course, rain coming, in the spring and such, and it's gonna be quite a bit of excavation and material taken out. And I don't know how you're gonna store that during these storms that always occur in the spring, despite any stormwater that's been increasing over time. I have concerns about, silt and erosion. I see you have a bond provision in the conditions with the town, but I'd like to see more of how you're gonna apply the silt and erosion details. I'd like to see that.
The
Because
fencing,
this is gonna be significant. This is 40 feet across and 24 feet down. That's a large, that's the size of a house. That's a lot of excavation. So I'm really concerned about erosion and movement during a storm. I need to see more details. Thank you.
I'm going to follow on Commissioner Paskowicz's comments. Within the proposed work, looking at this diagram, it led me to believe that this was like a fairly flat lot, because I don't really see any type of profile that shows me the landscaping.
correct.
The grade. If we can include something in the packet that shows the grade of the land in profile with the building on it would be
Okay.
helpful. And again, Eric, whatever modifications, if we have the town engineer review.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any further commissioners, questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Was that Commissioner Siddell?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Two more questions. One is related to what Commissioner Paskowitz was talking about, the erosion control plan. You don't have a lot of area to maneuver. Are there gonna be any dirt piles? How are you gonna manage your material when moving it around once you dig it out? And how is that gonna be managed? Are gonna be dirt piles? Is there gonna be enough space for it? Could be some erosion off those piles. What is your plan?
I mean, I can do erosion or silt fences and we can cover piles. However, seem fit, we would comply whatever the commission would like. It's not a big issue as far as compliance. If it's a silt fence needed or a pile covered during construction, that's totally within the realm of what we can do.
my last question is, once this garage is built, what's the buffer between the back of the garage and the wetland gonna look like? What do you envision? Are there gonna be some plantings, or we stabilize that slope? Not just with grass or anything? Is that just gonna be an area behind the garage, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing? What is your plan for that buffer, that 5-foot buffer you mentioned to me earlier?
So that buffer behind the garage is totally, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's totally in disarray as far as how they keep that buffer. There's trees down and that kind of thing, and it's totally natural. It's not been messed with. And we can keep that just like it is, the way nature intended, and just leave it as it is now. We will let it be what it is.
I'd like to see a photo of that next time. Because I
Sure.
hear what you're saying. I'd like to see some photographic evidence of that. And what I'm going to do is just something we can make it better. Can we give something back there? Is where I'm.
But I
where's
only
my
own
motivation.
5 feet of that. I only own 5 feet of that. The other 30 feet or 20 feet of that culvert is all natural, untouched for the
Anything
last.
beyond your property line is out of scope for us.
Okay. Sure.
But
If I may, Mr. Chairman, when Mr.
Go ahead,
Commissioner Sedil is done. Sorry.
yeah,
right,
that's
Commissioner
basically, what's
Still?
that small plot gonna look like? Just like to have some photographic evidence. I'm not gonna trespass on the property or eavesdrop or anything like that, but I think what that area, just to give us a peace of mind, what that area looks like will go a long way. Thank you.
I just wanted to point out,
Here.
Commissioner Paskowitz?
Yes. Is this area in a designated floodplain zone?
no, it's not in the floodplain.
Is there an active stream or intermittent stream in that wetland?
No, it serves more as drainage conveyance. So it's
Well,
more intermittent.
Well, if it was an intermittent water course, we need an expert to define it for us, right? It's gotta meet.
My observations are typically it's a drainage, yes.
Yeah.
Soil scientist has not looked at it. One other thing I just wanted to clarify, the 5-foot buffer, that's a zoning requirement for the detached garage. This has to be 5 feet from all property lines. So it's not establishing a buffer or anything, but I understand what you're.
With the amount of proposed hard surfaces, does this meet the zoning regulations?
Yes, we don't have a coverage requirement in Newington. As far as
I thought only a certain percentage needed to.
in the front yard,
Only in the
50%,
front yard.
only in the front yard.
50% of the
50%.
front yard needs to be remained
Correct.
undeveloped. Okay. All right, commissioners, anything else? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion to table this?
Commissioner Pasquich, sure.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'd like to ask the owner, have the abutters, do your abutters have knowledge of your proposed construction?
Not at this moment.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, can I get a motion to table this application to the next meeting?
I think it would be prudent to table this motion to the next meeting.
Motion from Commissioner Lamette. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner McCormick. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any opposed? Okay, motion passes to table this to the next meeting. Thank you.
So, Mr. Campbell, I will get you the comments that were discussed tonight so you can update your plans and get them back for the town engineer everybody to review.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to next item is public participation on non-agenda items. Any member of the public wishing to speak?
There is no one on the line, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, then we'll move on to next item, which is communications and reports. Aging communications.
So earlier this week, I sent all the wetland commissioners the updated link to the wetland commissioner training. So you can register for that. I know Commissioner Pasco is having a little trouble with it this afternoon. I was able to log into it. So hopefully that's squared away for him. So even if you guys have taken this in the past, it's been a few years, you may want to just sit through it again. There's some updates and they always tweak it, add new information. So, and if you guys let me know when you finish it, I'll add it to the education requirement. Currently, wetland commissioners are not required to go through the training, but there is a House bill out there to change that for wetland commissioners as well. So just stay ahead of the game.
Anything else, Eric?
That's really all I have.
Okay, next item is town council liaison communications. Anything from our town councilors?
You want us to come forward?
Sure, please. If the councilors could just state their names for the record.
Gail Draco. Kim Rada. Primarily what you probably already know is that we're in the midst of our budget season. So that's took up a big chunk of our meeting and will continue to take up chunks of the meeting over the next several weeks. Just a couple of other issues. We have established a permanent, this is a long one, a permanent building committee ordinance review subcommittee. Myself, Councilor Matt Plord, Councilor Dave Nagel, and Mayor John Trister as ex officio to take a look at the current building committee, permanent building committee ordinance to see how we might need to revise some of the language. That has not begun yet. We've just pulled the committee together so we can inform you as we move along and any changes that will take place. New board and commission appointments were made. We created a John Wallace Middle School renovation project building committee. I think there are still some community members yet to be added to that committee. Anything else that you wanted to report?
Not on the town council, but just for your information, just in general, you guys might be interested in the 3333 Berlin Turnpike. Gave a presentation to TPZ and I reported on it to the town council. They're seeking partial openings. And they're anticipated that on the retail side in April, Shake Shack will be opening. They're pretty well along into the process. And in fact, I think they're doing training now for their staff. There's also going to be 4 other retail openings this spring, summer. Cava, Crumble Cookies, Sally's a Pizza, and I forget what else. Of course, the big item of interest was the grocery store, but they said that they could not divulge any kind of name yet, but they do anticipate a January 25th opening for the grocery store, whoever that may be. But they're also seeking partial occupancy for one of the 3 residential buildings. And they're anticipating about 20 to 26 units being rented. And now that construction is kind of stabilized a bit, that I do believe they're going to start showing, or they have not already started showing some of the units.
They have started showing units from what I'm told, yes.
One of the big issues though is in egress and well, entrance and exit from the 3333 is anticipated to be, the main one on the Berlin Turnpike, but for the entrance exit, there was also going to be a cut through the median on the Berlin Turnpike. And I think you might have seen already, there's like a traffic light there, but it has canvas over it now.
The traffic lights have been installed. The median hasn't been cut out yet.
The median hasn't been cut out yet. So for the time being, there's going to be a right in and then a right out only, but they'll also be allowed to use the entrance off of Payne Road until sort of.
It really depends on how they try and structure this, because as part of the state approval. They have to get approval from the State Traffic Commission, OSTA, because it's the Berlin Turnpike. So otherwise, no COs or partial COs can be issued until that has been received from the state. So if the apartments are going to utilize the Berlin Turnpike access, they're going to be included in that. So if they feel there's going to be tied up, they could switch there to just Payne Road and not have to deal with the OSTA stuff. I guess they're still massaging that and figuring that out.
So, there is movement, there are occupants, ready and waiting to, unlock the door. So we'll see what happens.
And I think that's it.
Okay,
From us.
the permanent building committee, what are their responsibilities?
It will be, and I haven't read through the ordinance in quite a while, but it will be to oversee and be the standing building committee for public constructions.
It was devised or created, about a year or two ago. The thought was that the way current building committees, are assigned, developed, created is not that it left a lot to chance, but there was, the council at the time wanted to get a little bit more professionalism and stabilism into the building committees, and the fact that each kind of building committee sort of operated with its own purview, its own focus, its own
Was it
modus
really
of
in
operandi.
silos?
Modus operandi. So the thought was there would be a few appointments, I think 2 or 3 appointments by the town manager, 1 by each political party, and then I forget, but these permanent members would be basically members of every building committee that came along. And they would also have some level of expertise. So rather than myself or Kim, let's say, sitting on there, who really maybe don't have the engineering, whatever, you'll have 5 people who are experts in their respective fields that will sit on all these other committees, but the other committees will also then have other representatives on it. But those permanent members are going to be able to have a broader purview, first of all, in terms of expertise, but also in terms of they'd be impartial. So they wouldn't just be focused on, the best library, the best firehouse, the best this, the best that. These people would say, okay, yeah, we really want a great library, but we also know that there's this other need here. So they'd be able to more balance the resources and the needs, as well as give that professional expertise and have a historical memory.
And also, depending upon the specific construction, for example, the library, or for example, a school, there would also be members of, say, the Board of Ed, Newington Public Schools, that would also then become members of that committee, or from the library. So depending upon what the particular construction was, you would have a permanent building committee, but then also bring in other individuals who have the knowledge of the space, the current space.
Mental knowledge versus.
Be almost in historical
the
knowledge.
overdue,
Right, you have some continuity and cohesiveness.
Exactly. It was what we were looking for, was stability of a group of individuals, and as Gail said, with specific expertise. I'm an anthropologist. Do I know anything about electrical or HVAC or no?
But yet, Kim might be the great person to sit on the library committee because of her work with the Friends and her, history of volunteering. But yet, in terms of being there and participating in discussions regarding the HVAC systems or the, MME or whatever.
Right, exactly. Then you have people, so everybody's not looking at you like, well, I don't understand HVAC stuff. At least you have somebody there that they can turn to, and it has some level of expertise that can at least chime in and say, hey, we need to look at something else or another option, or this is good.
And again, these permanent people will also, again, be able to kind of rein in and say, okay, yeah, this is really great, but you know, we've got this other thing either coming up or this other area that might need some of the resources as well. So it was meant to more, against, evaluate the needs and the resources of the town in a more objective way.
Thanks. The last meeting, you mentioned something about the Hartford Children's Hospital property and possibly the town expressing interest or one of the commissions reaching out to the current owners. Any progress on that?
I don't think from my understanding, there is no forward movement as of yet. I don't think we really have much information about the property, about the sale, a possible cost. It's still in, as someone said, the worst kept secret in town. A lot of people are talking about it, but there really is no concrete information.
But it is
at
up
this
for
point in time.
sale, you know,
Yeah.
it's not, and it would be, you know, really nice if we had our wishes, if the town could, you know. But that, you know, it's a very valuable piece of property for very many reasons.
And then the Lowry Place project, from what I just heard this evening, when that presentation was done, I wasn't there, I wasn't invited. There was no discussion about wetlands being on that property and.
No, it was a pre-application.
That came to
Pre-application, right.
TPZ, right? You're the liaison.
Yes,
I just want to, bring it to your attention that there are wetlands present
Oh,
and that,
gosh, yes,
we
of
shouldn't
course.
overlook that if anything
But I'm
else
glad that
does
they
come up
did
again.
the pre-application because I do believe that they did get some feedback from the public as well as TPZ in terms of anticipated design or whatever going forward that maybe they need to kind of retry.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I misspoke. Wetlands were discussed and they were told that a wetland permit for what they were proposing would be required for the project because there was some paving. It was going to be up against that back end, but against that drainage channel on that side. So that was discussed.
Okay, that was during the public presentation?
That was during the, correct,
Right.
by the pre-application. So they are aware of it. They were aware of the wetlands before they came in.
Okay.
Sorry, I misspoke earlier.
No worries. Any other commissioners' comments for the counselors while they're here? Well, thank you again. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Right. Next item is Pond Life Research and Education. Alan, I believe this was your item.
Yes, Jeff. Well, last meeting, I brought up the intent to have a more detailed sign constructed, fabricated with text on it explaining why we should not feed wildlife, including ducks. I have not been able to get information back from the person that I was trying to reach out to. They've been going to conferences and I'm going to get back in touch with them again soon when they return from these conferences. The second thing is it's more of an interest in the spring season of the emergence of wood frogs. And of course, I was in part with the initiative of the vernal pools alongside with Commissioner Siddell. And one thing that was interesting, wood frogs hibernate basically. Well, what I didn't know was, their territory, how far south or north they are able to survive. And recently I came upon this article that they can actually live north of the Arctic Circle, which I found amazing. Apparently they have an accumulation of extra urea and glucose in their system, which acts as an antifreeze, keeping the cells and the vital organs from freezing entirely. Basically 60% of the body freezes, which stops the breathing and heart stops beating. But to be able to survive north of the Arctic Circle, I would have never imagined. I just thought it was amazing to hear. So I just wanted to bring that out as an interest. Thank you. I had nothing further tonight.
Speaking of vernal pools, I know we have an active one on Cedar Mountain. I don't know if anybody's been up there this year yet.
Yep.
Activity?
Squeaking,
Squeaking?
yeah,
Peeping?
there's some peeping.
All right, so we have an active vernal pool up on Cedar Mountain if anybody's interested in taking a hike. All right, if that's it, Alan, then I'll move on to adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
We do that when we blew off the number 7 now.
It's number 7.
Somebody was supposed to come.
We took care of
Oh,
it.
we can't, okay, right.
Yeah,
Just
yes, sir. We took care of it. Motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Willett. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner McCormick, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Have a good night.
Thank you all.
Okay, I got an off the books question.
He's gone.